Why do I know? Why do I know these things? Question mark. Alright, let's start. Ominous countdown. Explosion. A loud noise startled Junpei awake, and his eyes snapped open. As he adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize his surroundings. A loud noise startled Junpei awake, and his eyes snapped open. As he adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize his surroundings. With a crack, Junpei's head connected with something metal. He rolled over and threw out his hand to steady himself, but he found himself groping at empty air. His balance lost, and his still fuzzy mind struggling to understand what was going on, Junpei tumbled down to the cold, gray floor. Ouch, goddammit. Gah, what the hell? Junpei glared around the room, still trying to determine where he'd woken up. The fall had shaken the last cobwebs of sleep from his mind, and finally he understood where he'd fallen from. It was a bed. A 3-level bunk bed, in fact. Junpei had fallen, apparently, from the topmost bunk. His shoulder hurt, his knee hurt, his hip hurt. His entire body hurt. He could feel a bump forming on his forehead where he'd slammed it against the low ceiling. He wondered if that bump was the reason he felt his vision wavering a bit, but that seemed unlikely. At first he thought the tremor that ran through his legs was just another effect of his rude awakening, but as he looked around he realized it was real. The whole room was shaking. Was it an earthquake? He wondered. It didn't seem likely. It was shaking far too quickly for an earthquake. Then again, Junpei had no idea what it was, if not an earthquake. He tried to tell himself it was important. Junpei rubbed the growing bump on his head and gingerly climbed to his feet. His balance regained, he finally took his first good look around the room and muttered to himself, "Where am I?" His pain momentarily forgotten in the face of the confusion of his circumstances, Junpei looked around the room once again. Minutes passed while Junpei struggled to get his bearings. Then, as suddenly as they had begun, the tremor ceased. A cold silence fell over the room. From somewhere far away, Junpei could hear the sound of metal squeaking. He felt his stomach tighten. There were 1,000 things the sound could have been, but none of the things he could think of were good. In an attempt to distract himself, Junpei looked around the room once more. There was a stove that looked more antique than functional. The 3-level bunk bed had mattresses that were so thin that they were little more than blankets. On the other side of the room was an identical bed, and set in the wall between the beds was a slightly dirty iron door. The first thing Junpei noticed about the door was the number roughly emblazoned across it. On the surface of the door, in red paint, someone had written 5. 5? What's this 5 mean? Suspicious and still utterly confused, Junpei approached the door slowly. Standing, at last, in front of the door, Junpei grabbed hold of the L-shaped handle. A push yielded no movement, and a pull the same result. A few more tries cemented the truth in Junpei's mind. It wouldn't open. It didn't matter how much he pushed and shoved, the handle wouldn't budge. Next to the door was an odd-looking device that reminded Junpei of a card reader. It didn't take a genius to figure out that the odd-looking device was keeping the door shut. Junpei knocked hard on the door. Knock, knock. Hey. Hello? Is anyone there? Open the door. Knock. There was no response. Junpei threw his left fist into the door and stopped. What the hell is this? He wasn't really sure what else to say. On his left wrist was a bracelet of a sort he'd never seen before. In the center was a large LCD display. It looked like nothing else so much as a watch, but it clearly wasn't that. After all, it showed only a single number. 5. That's the same as the door. True, the numbers were the same, but he had no idea what that might mean. All he knew was that it was strange and new, and he wanted it off. Junpei flipped his hand over, as if to remove a watch, but the other side of the bracelet was solid. No buckle, no clasp, nothing. He sighed and flipped the thing back over. There were a number of rivets around the rim of the face. Perhaps. He pushed them, but nothing happened. On the watch, they might be dials for adjusting date or time, but on this bracelet, they did nothing. Junpei was at a loss. What was he going to do? Growing more desperate, he began to tug at it. However... Damn. It's no good. Damn thing won't come off. A steel ring ran from the face, around Junpei's wrist, and back into the face. He wouldn't be pulling the bracelet off any time in the near future. What the hell is the deal with this thing? Frustration and desperation were beginning to mix, as the reality of the situation began to dawn fully on Junpei. So much was happening and none of it made sense. Junpei felt as though he were about to explode. Where am I? And why the hell am I here? Why? Why? What the hell happened to me? It was at that moment that he noticed the window. The window was round, rimmed in riveted brass, like a window from an early 20th century ship. What? Wait, am I in a ship? Junpei walked slowly toward the window. He could see nothing beyond it but thick, impenetrable darkness. Junpei squinted, trying to see something, anything. It was at that moment. What? You gotta be kidding me. What the hell is going on in here? A crack split the glass of the window, and for a moment Junpei stared at it. Then the window burst, and water began to pour into the room. What the hell, goddammit? Junpei yelled and spun around, his feet slipping on the water already coming through the window. He ran for the door. Hey, anyone? Is anyone there? Come on, if you're there, say something. There was no reply. As Junpei screamed and pounded on the door, the water began to rise. It was now ankle deep on the floor and rising quickly toward his knees. Things were not looking good for Junpei. Not good at all. He needed to find a way out, and quickly. Junpei ran a hand across his forehead, brushing the sweat out of his eyes, and looked around the room. Seek a way out. And just adjust. Still like the text being cut off. Third class cabin. Alright, let's look. Water just keeps pouring through the window. It's like a waterfall. I don't think shoving something into the window is going to stop the water. In other words, if I don't want to die, I need to find a way out of this room. I had to figure this out. Picture frame. An old picture frame. There's a picture of a ship in it. There's screws keeping the back on. Doesn't seem like there's anything hidden on the sink. This is the only drain in this room. There's a towel next to the sink. Not helpful. Kettle. Well, let's see if there's anything in here. Huh, looks like there is. A key? Yeah, there's a little blue key in the bottom of this pot. Odd. This key's pretty small. Definitely not for a door. What's it for then? This key's blue. Is it supposed to open something else blue? Probs. This is the door to the stove. Well, it opens easily enough. Sure wish the door to get out of here was that easy to open. Well, that solves the mystery of whether or not this stove has been used before. What's this? It looks red. Oh, I think I combined this with the screws. Do it. Well, the screwdriver got those screws off easily enough, and here's the picture. Picture of an old cruise liner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So someone wrote a bunch of numbers and symbols on the back of the picture, huh? I think they correspond with this. Let me see. Let me write this down somewhere. Left to right, triangle, solid, open, solid, open. Alright, now back to this. Solid top. Okay, solid. Arrow pointing down, right. Open is 4. Top right, open is 3. Down, up, northwest, solid is 7. Southwest, solid is 6. 7, 4, 6, 3. Alright, let's see if this actually works. Yes, I know how to combine it, and I just did it. Duder. Okay, briefcase. Looks like a blue-ish briefcase. Oops. No dice, it's locked tight. Let's see if there's anything in the keyhole. Let's use that blue key. Alright, let's see what happens if I put this blue key in the keyhole. And nothing. I guess I'm gonna need some sort of code for the dial. Mini games. During an escape, your investigation may trigger one of several mini games. All operations for the mini games are done touching the bottom screen. Some minigames will require you to manipulate something, while others will only require you to apply the right object or touch the right thing. Alright, I think I get it, game. Alright, let's do 7, 4, 6, 3. Nope. Damn it, open, you stupid thing. I don't think it's gonna open if I whack it on the wall a couple times. Might make me feel better. Not gonna help though. Alright, Junpei, don't freak out. Keep it cool and look around for some more clues. What? Okay, so this number doesn't necessarily apply to this. I guess it could be flipped, but the arrow's pointing left to right. Well, perhaps it's for another 4-digit number. Pillow. I can keep looking till the cows come home. All I'm gonna find up here is that pillow. Damn it, isn't there anything else I can use? There's a blue briefcase on top of the, yeah, okay. 5. I guess that's the lever, huh? Maybe if I pull it. Negative. Well, it looks like pulling on the lever just makes a weird noise. Great. The light's still red and the display hasn't changed. Damn it, why the hell isn't this thing opening? The groove on the side of this thing looks like it's made to have a key card swipe through it or something like that. Maybe if I find a card that can unlock this thing. You're smart. It's a mysterious device with a lever on it. Blah blah blah, key card reader, but it's the weirdest card reader I've ever seen. Okay, hopefully there's something. Oh, that's it. Okay, I feel like I'm missing something with this notes. Let me reverse the numbers. Although I probably had to like invert the puzzle. So it's 74633647. Thanks. 3. Oh, can't even go 6 on this. Alright, let's try this again. I know, okay. So if it's upside down... If it's upside down, then it's 1. The third number is 2. The second number is 8. The last number is 9. That doesn't make sense. Because the second number on this briefcase doesn't go higher than 5. So it has to be this. Yeah, solid. Down. Yeah, what the shiz? But if am I supposed to like combine these two? Okay, good. I mean, not good, but. Alright, 7, 4, 3, 7. Yeah, I have this right. Unless it's like you have to fold it or something. The notes got blank and red and blue. Alright, I guess let me try this again. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, I don't know why you don't want to work. Yep, I just had to find the right number and turn the key. Then that briefcase should open. Thanks. There's a pair of simple chairs next to the table. The wire's already up to the chair. What the hell? It's a pipe. I know. I'll crawl into the pipe and find a way out. Nope. There's nobody here to make fun of my lame jokes. Man, this sucks. That joke was very lame. 5, huh? What does that mean? Oh, I think there's probably another... Here's this. Red key. Sick. Junpei grabbed the key and shoved it into his pocket. He intended to leave immediately, but something stopped him. His reflection stared back at him from the mirror, but he had scarcely recognized himself. So did my face. His confusion was well justified. His face was drawn and pale, and the dark circles under his eyes made him look as though he was nearly dead. Man, what the hell happened to me? How did I end up here? Even as he said it, something in his mind opened, and the memory bobbed to the surface. It was the last thing Junpei remembered before waking up in the strange room. It was past midnight when he came home. Junpei shuffled up the stairs and opened the door to apartment 201. Inside was his apartment, a small one-bedroom affair that ran him about $630 a month. It's pretty cheap. He moved into it when he entered college, and so far he'd been there for 3 years and 7 months. He stepped inside and turned on the lights. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling blinked and flickered slowly to life, as if waking from a deep slumber. Their cold light illuminated the landscape he'd come home to so many times before. Everything was as he'd left it. The magazines piled up in the corner, the textbooks collecting dust, the CD cases covering the floor, the jeans and t-shirt he'd worn the day before, then tossed onto the floor. There was one thing that didn't belong, however. There was a breeze. Breaths of cold night air wafted into his apartment, carrying the smells of autumn with them. The white curtain framing his window swayed gently in the wind. Huh, that's weird. Did I leave that open? Junpei walked toward the window, trying to remember if he'd closed it or not before he left. One of the panes was hanging open. He stuck his head out and looked around. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Junpei shrugged. He must have just left it open earlier. He closed the window. Then it happened. Attack! Junpei turned and found himself face to mask with a man dressed all in black. The man wore a deep hood and a bulky gas mask. His face was entirely hidden. Junpei tried to scream, but all he could manage was a strangled croak. He tried to step toward the man, but his legs could no longer support his weight. Junpei collapsed to the floor, a crumpled heap of limbs like a discarded puppet. Too late, he noticed the white smoke that was quickly filling his apartment. A small object, shaped distressingly like a grenade, sat on the floor in front of his face, hissing. The white smoke poured out of it at an incredible rate. The smoke had grown so thick that the details of Junpei's apartment began to fade into the white haze. He could feel his mind begin to fade as well, a white haze that was not the smoke creeping into the edges of his vision. Consider this a privilege. You have been chosen. A rasping voice wormed its way out of the gas mask. It was cold and harsh and distorted in some way Junpei couldn't put a finger on. You are going to participate in a game, the Nonuri game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line. That was the last thing Junpei remembered. The white smoke overpowered him. The masked man faded from his vision, and he felt his consciousness fall away into the white mist. That's right, that guy with the gas mask. That son of a bitch must have taken me here. As to who the man was, or might have been, Junpei had no idea. Indeed, he wasn't even sure that his assailant had been a man. The voice had been cold and mechanical, likely passed through a voice changer, and the body had been covered in a thick cloak. Who was the man in the mask? You have been chosen. Junpei remembered that much, but what it might mean, that was beyond him. Junpei had no idea where he was or why he was there. There was only one thing from his memory that seemed important. You are going to participate in a game, the nonary game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line. The nonary game, huh? What the hell is a nonary game? God damn it! With a yell, Junpei drove his fist into the mirror. That's not smart. Okay, I have a red key. There's nothing left on the mirror. I'm gonna punch the mirror. Okay, so red key. A red key. I'm gonna put the red key in the blue briefcase. Perhaps that is what I should do. You don't need to tell me this tutorial every time. A small red key. No, no. Alright, let me try one more time. The number that I got from the shapes and stuff. Okay, that's not it. Okay. Open this again. This is totally a stove, nothing inside though. Yep. There are some hangers on the pole. Let me guess. Alright, let's stick that red key in there. It's not opening. In fact, it's not doing anything at all. Well, alright, I take that back. I guess I can move the dial now. So it looks like I'm gonna have to put in the right numbers and turn the key. I do that, this thing should pop right open. Let's give it a shot. Oh, thanks for the operation instructions. Okay. 7, 4, 6. Nope. 7, 4, 6, 3. Zero, 0. Damn it, it's not opening. I wonder if anything I've got might have a hint. I think it should open if I put in the right numbers and turn the key. Yes. Yes, I agree. Okay, so... the notes got blank, blah, ink red, and blank, blah, ink blue. Like, is there significance to this, like, being like, folded? I want to say there is, but I don't know. Because it's 7, 4, 6, 3. 7, 4. The curtain is already open. Thanks. It's a closet. Cheeky, cheeky. Okay. Okay, I feel like I got everything. Alright, I'm like missing something. Obviously. Maybe you repeat them. So red, blue, red. It's like 7, 4, 7, 4. Or 6, 3, 6, 3. Dang it. 6, 3, 6, 3. Red is 7, 4. So let me write down all the numbers and the shapes and stuff. Yeah, what about another bullet point? There were a couple of symbols on it that were red. Someone drew those symbols on the back of the picture along with some numbers. Could those symbols have something to do with the code? Yes, because... Yes, but what I'm finding is not working. No, no. Okay, click this, search. Alright, so 1 is that, 2 is that, 3, 4, 5 is square, 6 is this, 7, 8, 9, 0. 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay. Now this. Seven, 4, 60. Yeah, is there a reason it's full like a mountain? Can you fold it in here? If I had something where the left side was red, then I would format red symbols. That might give me the answer. Seven 447 or 7474. Seven 447. Nope. Shaped like a mountain. Then it would be 6, 9. Nope. Man, this is annoying. I don't know. Alright, there has to be like note that I'm missing. So I'm gonna look some more. I feel like I would have died at this point. Search the beds. Ladder. Ladder. Well, it looks like we've got a light here and electricity. Thanks. There's nothing useful here. Oh. Oh. This game. Okay, so blue. Blue is 0. Starts with blue. 0, 7, 8, 5. So it should be 6307 for blue. It should be 6307 for blue. Yep. Six. Please. Please. Oh. That's weird. Let me just try. I must have messed up that last number. Oh, it's O. What the sh... Yes, yes. Yes, thank you. Okay, so it's 0 set. Oh, 0 2. I didn't fill in the number when I wrote it down. I filled in that arrow. Oops. Alright. This should work. This should work now. No, wait, sorry. Oops. My head hurts. Is that or 0263? Oh. Only took like 90 hours. Alright, let's see if these numbers work. I turned the key and hey, looks like it's working. Yes, alright, let's open it up. Yes, it opened. Looks like there's something in here. What's this? What is this? A file? Alright, let's see what's in this file. Digital root. Let's see here. Compute a digital root with the following steps. First, add all the numbers in question to one another. If you end up with something greater than a single digit number, add the digits to one another. For instance, if you have a double digit number, add the number in the tens place to the number in the ones place. Keep adding digits in this manner until you have a single digit answer. That final digit is your digital root. So 15, 21... 2 plus 1, 3. Therefore, the digital root of 6, 7. Yeah, I get it. What to do? I get it. I get it. Therefore, the digital root of 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1. I see. So I just keep adding numbers until I get a single digit number. Oh, it looks like there's something on the back of this thing. A notebook, a pen, a calculator, and a stack of key cards. Huh. Looks like some key cards. There's a number written on each card. 6, 7, 8. Does that mean something? Probably. New material has been added to the file screen. Calculator. The calculator screen can be used during escape or during analysis concerning escape. You can access it by pressing. Got it. Alright, let's open this stupid other one. I feel like they shouldn't have to do this operating thing now that I am a boss. 7485, right? Please, 7. Does this even go to 8 though? Okay, that's 7485. Praise the Lord. Yes, I unlocked it. It's opening. A stack of red key cards. These look like key cards. There's a number on each one. 1, 2, 3. And then blue is 6, 7, 8. Okay. These cards have numbers on them. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm supposed to use them. Alright, let's slide this card and see if it works. And... huh? It's not working? Why? Damn it. No, that's right. I still have cards that I haven't used. Damn, no matter how many times I try this, it won't do squat with just blue cards. If I'm gonna make this work, I need some different cards. Yes, you have red cards. Damn it, not again. There aren't any more cards in here. I've only got one other hint. Of course, the files. That file said something about digital root. The digital root, huh? What am I supposed to do with... there's a 5 on that door. Do I have to get a digital root of 5? I'm not really sure about this. Ah, whatever, it's worth a shot. Let's see if this works. I'll just slide the cards that give me digital root of 5 through the reader. Alright. I should be able to do this. Digital root of 5, 3 of them. So 321, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 6, 7. Wait, digital root, so a 5. So it'd be like 5. Like 4, no. 1456. No. 832. 11, 12, 13. 863, 14, 17. That's 8. 861. 14. 861, 14, 5. 861, 14. 861. And so we need to get to 14. 14, 7, 6, 1, 13, 14, 5, 7, 6, 1. Alright, I think this is gonna work. There we go. That's a new noise. Huh. Did it just unlock? Well, that light was red and now it's blue. No doubt about it. There's nothing keeping me in here now. Time to go. Alright, let's get the fook out of here. I feel like that took a lot longer than it should have, but we did it. You found it. Thanks, buddy. Accompanied by a wall of angry water, Junpei shot out of the room and into the opposing wall. Gasping to catch his breath, he looked around. He was in a narrow hallway. The water that had followed him out of the room was rapidly pouring out of the door. It flowed quickly down the hallway and slammed into the foot of the short flight of stairs. Just 5 steps, in fact. And at the top of this short staircase, a door, another door. Junpei leapt up the stairs straight for the door. The door burst open and Junpei exploded out of it, only to freeze in his tracks. What other possible response could there have been to what he saw? What the hell? His voice trailed off, and all he could do was stare. A polished floor stretched out before him. Ornate staircases rising up from the edges, each one of them equidistant from the others. The stairs and pillars were solid wood, and Art Nouveau embellishments and decorations covered the walls and pillars. It looked like nothing so much as the entrance to a luxurious mansion from the early 1900s. Junpei couldn't help but wonder, was he really in a ship? The water quickly filling the hallway behind him suggested that yes, he was. As he looked, a fresh wave rolled out of the room he'd been in, gathering speed as it moved toward the stairs. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is totally a Wait, what the hell? A wave? Shit! I gotta get out of here. Junpei spun around, his wet shoes squeaking in protest on the polished floor, and ran toward the tremendous staircase in front of him. C deck. B deck. B deck. As he ran, he glanced quickly at the plates mounted on the wall, denoting the decks of the ship. He took the stairs 2 at a time, not entirely sure where he would find himself. Just as he began to wonder where, in fact, the stairs did lead, Junpei saw another person out of the corner of his eye. He stopped short, nearly tripping over the next stair, and looked. It wasn't just one person he'd seen. On the landing to the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. And on the right side, 3 more. All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they had been on their way down the stairs. They had stopped short when they saw Junpei, their eyes wide. He'd done the same, of course, and now they stood there staring at one another. Junpei didn't move, one foot placed awkwardly on the next step, in the middle of his stride. Who are these people? This entire interaction lasted only a matter of seconds. The woman spoke to Junpei and time began to move again. I guess there's another one of us now. The woman was dressed, Junpei thought, rather like a dancer. Her clothes covered very little, and her prodigious jewelry a little more. Hey you, come on, hurry. With no further ceremony, she ran, straight past Junpei and toward the doors behind him. The sudden proximity of a woman with such striking assets left Junpei momentarily stunned. Striking assets! But the others wasted no time and quickly followed the strange woman. The first to pass Junpei was a young man with silver hair. He threw a quick glance in Junpei's direction as he ran, muttering, one of us, huh? Following him was an older man, his face calm and without fear. Soft wrinkles sprouted from his eyes, and he came close enough as he passed for Junpei to see wisps of gray in his hair. His composure and shock of hair struck Junpei as rather like that of an elderly lion. Going up won't do you any good. There are 2 doors, but neither of them will open. The next to speak was a girl with pink hair and a high voice. Come on, aren't you coming? You gotta hurry. Her small hand was wrapped around the wrist of another man. His eyes were closed, almost as though he were sleeping. His features were graceful, almost serene. He was dressed rather elegantly for someone his age. Something about his posture seemed very refined, and Junpei couldn't help feeling he was noble and dignified somehow. He'd certainly never seen one, but this man seemed like what Junpei had always imagined a prince would be like. That's 9 of us then. All of the cards are in hand. What does all of the cards are in hand mean, he wondered. Junpei opened his mouth to ask what the other man had meant, but the girl with pink hair rushed past him and they were gone. He turned just in time to see 2 more people running toward him. One of them had hair like a bird's nest, and looked as though a stiff breeze might topple him, and the other was a veritable mountain of a man. The scrawny one said nothing, and scuttled past Junpei as though he were running from something. Hey, what the hell are you just standing there for? Didn't you hear him? The doors on A deck are no good. We gotta check the doors on B deck. Got it? Now go! Before he had a chance to respond, the man laid a massive hand on Junpei's shoulder. With no more effort than Junpei would have used to brush aside a fly, the man shoved him out of the way. Whoa! Thrown off balance by the man in recent events, it took Junpei a few steps to get his bearings. He finally regained his balance and looked up at what the other 7 had been running toward. There were 2 pairs of large iron doors set into the wall in front of him. They looked quite sturdy and each had handles jutting from them. Written across the surface of each door in red paint was a number. The door on the right had a 4, and on the door on the left had a 5. They're the same. The guy Junpei had decided to call Silver was mumbling to himself. The room I woke up in had a number on the door just like that. You too, eh? With an arched eyebrow, the lion looked over at Silver. My cell was the same, a number upon the door. I opened it, ran down the hallway outside, and found myself in the rather grand room full of stairs, as I suspected the rest of you. It was as though the floodgates had opened, and they all began to talk at once. Me too. I did too. Yeah, a door with a number on it. It soon became clear that each one of them had awoken in a room with a locked door, and solved a puzzle to escape. They all ended up in the same room. Almost as though they had been guided there. Yes, we all saw the same thing. That's not important, we need to hurry. You think I don't know that, lady? Before the dancer had time to finish, Silver was already running. He grabbed hold of the door labeled 5 and pulled. However... Fuck, it's not opening. This damn thing won't even budge. Move, you're in the way. The mountain grabbed Silver's shoulder and tossed him aside. His path cleared, he took a few steps back, then threw himself at the door. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The door shook as his body slammed into it, but showed no signs of breaking or opening. The mountain threw himself at the door again. Junpei turned toward door 4. Next to the door on the wall was a small box. It looked just like the one that he'd seen in his room next to that door. If it was the same, then this door was likely locked as well. Still, he had to check. Junpei grabbed the handle and threw all of his weight onto it. Arrgh! Gah! It was locked as tight as the door next to it, as he'd suspected. Damn it! Junpei punched the door. He did not respond. Were these the only doors, he wondered? He'd barely finished the thought when the C-deck plate he'd passed on his way up sprang unbidden to his mind. His body moved before he had time to think. Junpei turned and ran back toward the stairs. He had scarcely taken a step when, at the top of the stairs next to an ornate clock embedded in the wall, he saw a person. It was a girl. She looked to be the same age as Junpei. Damn girl! He froze, unable to look away from her face. He wasn't confounded by her beauty or something equally silly. No, there was another reason he couldn't take his eyes off the girl. Junpei had seen her somewhere before. He couldn't quite remember where, but he knew. He knew he'd met her before. The girl, too, stared at Junpei similarly stunned. Her response suggested she'd seen him before as well. ... Without saying a word, Junpei walked slowly toward her. He didn't move. She didn't move. It was almost as though she was held in place by some sort of magic spell. As Junpei stepped onto her landing, the spell broke. No sooner had he set his foot down than the whole ship shook a second time. The quake caught the girl unprepared and she fell. Moving on instinct, Junpei leapt to catch her, or so he thought. Her face was far closer than it should have been, mere inches from his own. He was flat on his back and she had landed squarely on top of him. The girl seemed as confused as he did, and her face suggested she still hadn't fully recovered from seeing him. For a moment that seemed to stretch for a very long time, they stared at one another. The ship stopped shaking. Everything was quiet. Water could be heard from the bottom of the ship, lapping faintly at walls and ceilings, but eventually that faded as well. The silence was complete, a thick, muffling blanket. At last the girl opened her mouth. "Oh my gosh, is that you, Jumpy?" Jumpy, Jumpy. Her words echoed through Junpei's head, and suddenly his memory returned. Akane? Childhood love. Why hadn't he realized it before? The girl was Akane Kurashiki. She and Junpei had been friends in childhood. They'd gone to elementary school together for 6 years. But what was she doing on the ship? Her soft eyes were only inches from his own. He could feel the warmth of her face. Feelings he thought long forgotten began to work their way to the surface. He could feel his face heating up. That's cute. At that moment, a speaker crackled to life and a cold, eerie voice filled the room. "Welcome aboard. I welcome you all from the bottom of my heart to this, my vessel." With the voice's invasion, the spell between Junpei and Akane was broken, and all hints of burgeoning romance instantly forgotten. They hurriedly untangled themselves from one another and struggled to their feet. Their 7 companions had heard the voice as well, and many of their faces had gone pale. They looked around frantically, desperate to locate the source of the voice. At last they found it. A speaker set in the ceiling. "I am Zero, the captain of the ship. I am also the person who invited you here." The voice was harsh, obscured occasionally by the crackle of static. But Junpei recognized it. How could he have forgotten it? It was the same voice he had heard from the man in the gas mask. "Hey asshole, what the hell is this? Come on out here, I want to get a look at you. What do you mean to do to us?" "I mean to have you participate in a game. Some of you, I know, are familiar with this game. The Nonary game. Or Nonary? It is a game where you will put your life on the line." "Nonary game? What the hell's that?" The voice continued, implacable. "The rules of the Nonary game can be found upon your persons. They are simple rules. Read them." "Nonary game? Hey, there's something in my pocket. Check this out." Silver reached into his pocket and pulled out a slip of paper. The rest of them reached into their own pockets and pulled out similar slips of paper. Junpei followed suit and dug into the pocket of his pants. He felt the telltale crumple of paper, slightly damp from his earlier ordeal. "Hey, I got that. I got one too." "Then it would seem Zero has seen fit to grace us each with a letter. Would you mind terribly reading it to us, young man?" His request had been delivered to Junpei, who, after a short moment's surprise, did as he had been asked. "On this ship you will find a handful of doors emblazoned with numbers. We will call them the number doors. The doors in front of you are a pair of the same. The key to opening these numbered doors are the numbered bracelets that each of you possess. Should you total the numbers on your numbered bracelets and find the digital root, oh god, if that number is equal to the number of that door, the door will open. Only those who have opened the door may pass through. There are, however, limits. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door. All those who enter must leave, and all who enter must contribute. Bracelet, Junpei figured, had to mean the bulky thing on his wrist. He glanced around. It looked like everyone else had one as well, and had come to much the same conclusion. The purpose of the game is simple. Leave the ship alive. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Junpei had reached the end of the letter. There was a long moment of silence. And then the speaker crackled to life once more. There is one last thing I must tell you. As you have no doubt surmised, the ship has begun to sink. On April 4th, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into an iceberg. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic. I will give you more time. 9 hours. That is the time you will be given to make your escape. The voice finished and the speaker went silent. The sound of a bell tolling echoed through the hall. It came from the dance hall adjacent to the stairwell. It took those assembled on the stairs mere moments to trace the sound to an antique clock embedded in the wall. 7, 8, 9. The sound of the 9th bell faded away. The 10th never came. That meant the time was 9 o'clock. Most likely 9 o'clock in the evening. When Junpei had peered out the window of his cell, he'd seen nothing but blackness. It had to be nighttime. If that was the case, then they would need to escape by 6 a.m. the following day. Now it is time. Let our game begin. I wish you all the best of luck. The speaker went silent and did not speak again. Silver yelled at the speaker with language coarse enough to embarrass a sailor, but the rest of Junpei's companions were silent deep in thought. I think it's a good place to stop. Until next time.